Hello, dear friend. Welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Have you ever considered that your bedroom, the very space you rely on for relaxation and renewal, could be quietly impacting your health every night? For those of us over 65, this isn't just a distant worry. It's a genuine issue that might be disturbing your sleep, clouding your memory, and even putting stress on your heart, all without your awareness. You may be doing everything right, eating healthy, taking your medications, staying active, yet still waking up feeling tired, groggy, or achy. The cause could be closer than you think, possibly just a few inches from where you rest your head. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 5 hidden sources of radiation in the bedroom that could be gradually wearing down your body, along with some easy adjustments you can make right away for better, deeper sleep. But before we get started, I'd love to connect with you. Let me know in the comments, where are you tuning in from, and what time is it as you watch this? Even a brief message means a lot to me, and if you find value in what I share, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future health tips created just for you. Every night, your bedroom should be the safest place in your home, a space where your body can rest, heal, and reset for the day ahead. But for many seniors, especially those over 65, there's a hidden danger sitting quietly just inches from the head of the bed. It doesn't hum, it doesn't buzz, and it doesn't glow very brightly, but it's affecting your sleep more than you think. That digital alarm clock you've relied on for years might be doing more harm than good, especially if it sits right on your nightstand. You see, most digital clocks, especially those that stay plugged into the wall, emit a type of energy called electromagnetic fields, or EMFs. These EMFs are invisible, but they radiate steadily, day and night, from the moment the device is turned on. And when that clock is just 6 to 12 inches from your brain, as it often is for people who keep it beside their pillow, the exposure becomes constant and concentrated. Your brain, your nervous system, and even your immune system remain under low-level stress without you ever realizing why. As we age, our cells naturally lose some of their ability to repair damage. This means seniors are more vulnerable to environmental stresses, including EMF exposure, than younger adults. While a teenager might sleep through anything, a 70-year-old's body is more sensitive, especially during sleep, when the brain is supposed to restore itself. Instead of rest, your body ends up working harder, repairing itself under pressure. Have you ever wondered why you wake up tired even after a full night's sleep, or why you start your mornings with a dull headache, grogginess, or a heavy feeling behind your eyes? These signs are often dismissed as normal aging, but the truth might be simpler and much easier to fix. Take Evelyn, a retired schoolteacher from Oregon. At 73, she was doing everything right, going to bed early, avoiding caffeine, and even practicing meditation. Still, she woke up each morning feeling like she hadn't slept at all. She battled daily headaches, restless nights, and constant fatigue, despite doctors insisting nothing was wrong. One day, she came across a health article about EMFs in the bedroom and decided to investigate. She realized that her digital clock had been sitting just 12 inches from her head every single night for nearly 5 years. As a small experiment, she replaced it with a simple, battery-powered analog clock and moved it to the far end of her dresser. The results were almost immediate. Within 4 nights, Evelyn slept through the night without waking up once. The headache stopped. The brain fog lifted. She woke up feeling lighter and clearer than she had in years. It was like a curtain had been lifted, she told her daughter. I didn't realize how long I'd been sleeping under a cloud. Science is beginning to support what Evelyn experienced firsthand. Multiple studies have shown that EMF exposure, especially during sleep, can interfere with melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that regulates your sleep cycle, and it's also a powerful antioxidant that supports immune function. When melatonin is suppressed, not only do you sleep poorly, but your body also loses a key tool in fighting off disease and inflammation. So, what can you do? The first and simplest step is to replace your digital clock with a battery-operated or wind-up model. These clocks work just as well and emit zero electromagnetic radiation. If you must use a digital clock, move it at least 6 feet away from your bed. It may seem like a small detail, but for seniors, small changes can lead to big improvements. Your body is constantly communicating with you, often through fatigue, headaches, or restless sleep. The problem isn't always internal. It might be just a few inches away, glowing softly through the night. By adjusting your bedroom environment, you give your body the quiet, low-stress space it needs to heal. Better sleep means better energy, better focus, and even better heart health. And when you wake up feeling rested and clear, everything else, from cooking breakfast to remembering names, feels easier. You deserve rest that truly restores you. Start with this one simple step tonight and let your body finally get the sleep it's been waiting for. For many older adults, the bedroom is meant to be a quiet refuge, a place to escape the noise of the world and allow the mind to rest. But what if that very space of peace was filled with something silent, invisible, yet powerful enough to disrupt your memory, your heart rhythm, and your sleep? This might sound dramatic, but more and more studies are confirming what many seniors are starting to suspect. Wi-Fi routers and wireless devices may be silently affecting your brain and body overnight. If you're over 65, the effect may be even more intense, because the natural defenses in your body are no longer as strong as they once were. One of the most overlooked but critical barriers inside your body is called the blood-brain barrier. Think of it as a filter, protecting your brain from harmful substances circulating in your bloodstream. As we age, this barrier becomes more porous, more fragile, and less effective at keeping toxins and disturbances away from sensitive brain tissue. Now add in constant exposure to pulsed radio frequency waves, like those from your Wi-Fi router, which can operate 24 hours a day just a few feet from your head. The risk becomes less hypothetical and more immediate, especially when the body is in its most vulnerable state, deep sleep. It's not uncommon for older adults to wake up feeling groggy, mentally cloudy, or emotionally drained, even after going to bed early. This isn't always just normal aging. Sometimes it's your brain's way of signaling that something's not right. Something might be interfering with its natural healing process at night. We now know that EMF exposure can weaken memory, increase heart rate variability, and disrupt your body's production of melatonin, the very hormone that helps you fall into deep, healing sleep. Let me share the story of Stanley, a 71-year-old retired engineer from Michigan. He loved technology and always kept up with the latest gadgets. His Wi-Fi router sat conveniently on his bedroom dresser, just 8 feet from where he slept. He liked being connected even while resting and never thought twice about it, until his memory began to fade. He started forgetting where he placed his keys, mixing up appointments, and repeating stories to his wife without realizing it. Worse still, he noticed fluttering sensations in his chest and frequent dizziness, which concerned his family. His cardiologist ran several tests and found no major issues, but then asked Stanley a surprising question: "Where is your router at night?" That one question changed everything. Stanley decided to move his router to the far corner of his house, downstairs in his home office. He even connected it to a simple outlet timer so it would shut off automatically at 11 p.m. and turn back on at 7 a.m. Within just 3 weeks, his sleep quality improved. The heart flutters disappeared and his memory began to sharpen again. His wife noticed he was more alert in the mornings, more present at breakfast, and even remembered their neighbours' names again. At his next doctor's visit, Stanley's cognitive test scores had improved by nearly 30%. So what's the lesson here? Even a small, passive device like a Wi-Fi router can have outsized effects on a senior's health if placed in the wrong location. The solution isn't complicated, and you don't have to give up the convenience of modern technology. You just have to make it work with your biology, not against it. If your router is in or near your bedroom, consider moving it to a different floor, or at least to the farthest corner of your home. If moving it isn't practical, use an outlet timer to shut it off automatically during the night. You don't need constant Wi-Fi while you sleep. And if you're open to it, consider using a wired Ethernet connection for better safety, especially in your bedroom. Wired connections not only reduce radiation exposure, but also improve internet stability, which can be helpful if you work from home or enjoy video calls with family. In our later years, the little things matter more than ever, especially when it comes to sleep, memory, and heart health. Your body works hard each night to rebuild, restore, and protect you from long-term damage, but it can't do that if it's being bathed in disruptive signals for 8 hours straight. By making this one small change, relocating or deactivating your Wi-Fi at night, you're giving your brain the quiet it craves and the darkness it needs to heal. And in return, you may notice brighter mornings, clearer thoughts, and a heart that feels just a bit more steady. Because sometimes the answer to better health isn't another pill or another test. It's just rethinking what's sitting quietly next to your bed. There's something comforting about a fresh-smelling bedroom, a subtle scent that makes the space feel clean, safe, and peaceful at the end of the day. For many older adults, especially those living alone, keeping their home pleasantly scented becomes part of a routine, a way to create a warm, welcoming environment. But what if that quiet scent was doing more harm than good, especially to your lungs, your sleep, and even your energy during the day? It may be time to take a closer look at something as small as a plug-in air freshener. Electric air fresheners are found in millions of homes across the country. They're convenient, affordable, and promise weeks of fragrance with no maintenance. But what most people don't realize is that these devices do more than release scent. They also release a steady stream of electromagnetic radiation, or EMFs, while plugged into the wall. At the same time, they emit volatile organic compounds, tiny airborne particles that can irritate the lungs, especially when inhaled during sleep. This creates a double burden for your respiratory system, constant exposure to EMFs, combined with the slow buildup of synthetic chemicals in the air you breathe. For older adults, this burden becomes even heavier. As we age, lung function naturally declines and the airways become more sensitive to irritants that younger lungs might handle without issue. Aging lungs also recover more slowly, meaning that exposure to everyday toxins, even mild ones, can lead to long-term inflammation, chronic cough, or difficulty breathing. Let me share the story of Virginia, a 77-year-old widow from Florida. Virginia loved keeping her home tidy and fresh. She used plug-in air fresheners in nearly every room, including the one by her bed, because she enjoyed the relaxing smell of lavender at night. But over time, she began noticing a dry, scratchy feeling in her throat, followed by a lingering cough that wouldn't go away. At first, she blamed it on allergies or seasonal changes. She tried cough syrup, drank warm tea, and even installed a humidifier, but nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until she spent a week at her daughter's house, with no air fresheners around, that she finally noticed a difference. Her cough subsided, her breathing felt easier, and she woke up without that tight, uncomfortable sensation in her chest. When she returned home, her daughter gently suggested removing all the plug-in devices from her bedroom and living spaces. Virginia agreed, though she was hesitant. She had used them for years and loved how her home smelled. Instead, they placed small bowls of baking soda in each room to absorb odours and added a few cotton balls with essential oil near her dresser, far from her bed. Within days, her breathing improved again. She felt more rested in the morning, less congested, and even noticed she was sleeping more deeply than before. Her pulmonologist was surprised at how quickly her lung function rebounded after years of struggling with chronic respiratory irritation. And perhaps most importantly, Virginia felt empowered. like she had regained a bit of control over her body in her home environment. Scientific studies now confirm that electric air fresheners can release chemicals like formaldehyde, benzene, and phthalates into the air, substances known to irritate the respiratory tract and, in high concentrations, contribute to long-term health risks. During sleep, when breathing becomes slower and deeper, these substances have more time to settle in the lungs and enter the bloodstream. And when combined with low-level EMFs radiating from the device itself, the impact on senior health becomes more significant. So, what's the better option? Start by unplugging all electric air fresheners from your bedroom, especially if they're close to your head while sleeping. Next, try natural alternatives, like a bowl of baking soda in the corner of the room. It quietly absorbs odours without adding anything to the air. If you enjoy pleasant scents, use essential oils like lavender or cedar on a cotton ball placed across the room from your bed. Even dried herbs or flowers in a breathable sachet can provide a light, calming aroma without introducing harmful chemicals or radiation. The key is to allow your bedroom to return to its natural state, a place where the air is clear, the environment is gentle, and your body can relax without interference. You don't have to give up comfort or cleanliness to protect your lungs and your rest. You simply have to be mindful of what's surrounding you while you sleep. Because in this stage of life, every breath matters. Every night of deep, uninterrupted sleep matters. And sometimes the biggest improvements begin with the smallest changes, like what you choose to plug in beside your bed. On cold nights, nothing feels more comforting than slipping into a warm bed. For many seniors, especially those living in cooler climates or dealing with joint pain, an electric blanket or heating pad can seem like the perfect solution. It provides immediate warmth, soothes stiffness, and creates a sense of coziness that helps ease the body into rest. But what if that very warmth was quietly interfering with your health, night after night, without you even realizing it? Electric blankets and plug-in heating pads work by sending electric currents through thin wires woven into the fabric. These currents generate heat, but they also create an electromagnetic field, often referred to as EMF, that surrounds your body while you sleep. And unlike other household devices that are placed a few feet away, electric blankets lie directly against your skin, covering your chest, your abdomen, your legs. This means your entire body is exposed to low-level radiation for hours at a time, precisely when your cells are supposed to be resting, repairing, and regenerating. For younger people, the body may tolerate this kind of exposure with few noticeable effects. But for seniors, especially those over 65, it's a different story entirely. The body's ability to regulate inflammation weakens with age, and exposure to EMFs during sleep may silently trigger the production of stress molecules. Over time, this added inflammation can worsen chronic conditions like arthritis, disrupt your heart rhythm, and interfere with deep, restorative sleep. Let me share with you the story of Dorothy, a 75-year-old retired nurse from Minnesota. Winters in her town are long and bitter, and for years she relied on her electric blanket to help her sleep through the cold. She used it every night, keeping it on low heat until morning, and she never thought it could be causing any harm. But gradually, Dorothy began to notice something wasn't right. Her joints were stiffer in the mornings, even though the warmth had helped her fall asleep at night. She began waking up with strange muscle aches and heart palpitations that made her feel uneasy. At first, she blamed it on aging, on weather, on stress. But after reading an article about EMF exposure and sleep, she decided to try something different. Just for a few weeks, she replaced her electric blanket with a thick down comforter and layered her bed with flannel sheets and a wool mattress pad. On especially cold nights, she used a hot water bottle at her feet or heated a rice-filled bag in the microwave to pre-warm the sheets. Within 3 weeks, the difference was remarkable. Her joint pain eased, her heart rhythm steadied, and she reported sleeping more soundly than she had in months. Scientific studies now support what Dorothy experienced. Research from the Environmental Health Institute shows that extended EMF exposure during sleep may increase inflammatory markers in older adults by as much as 35%. This type of inflammation doesn't cause immediate pain, but it slowly wears down the body's resilience, affecting everything from joint mobility to cardiac function. The quiet, steady presence of EMF against your body during sleep might not feel like much, but it adds up over time. So, what can you do if you still need warmth in the winter months? Fortunately, there are safe and effective alternatives. Natural insulation like wool, down, or flannel holds body heat well and allows you to stay warm without relying on electricity. For added comfort, pre-warming your bed with a hot water bottle or microwave-safe heating pad filled with rice or flaxseed can provide gentle heat without the risk of EMF exposure. And if you must use an electric heating device, consider turning it on only before bedtime, then unplugging it before you fall asleep. Never sleep through the night with it running, especially if it's in direct contact with your skin. You'll give your body the gift of warmth when it needs it most, while still protecting it during those crucial hours of healing and rest. In our later years, comfort becomes more important, but so does protection. Your body is doing its best to keep you steady, mobile, and clear-minded. The small choices you make in your nighttime routine can have a ripple effect on how you feel in the morning. And sometimes the most nurturing thing you can do for yourself isn't adding more, it's gently taking something away. So tonight, before you crawl into bed, ask yourself, is this warmth coming from a source that heals or one that quietly harms? Your body deserves the kind of rest that truly restores, and you have the power to create that, starting now. As we grow older, the way we experience comfort begins to change. Cold nights can feel colder, muscles tighten more easily, and what used to be a mild chill now keeps us from falling asleep. For many seniors, that's when the electric blanket or heating pad becomes a nightly companion, offering a sense of warmth and relief that feels deeply needed. But what if that comfort came with an invisible cost? A hidden layer of stress placed on your body night after night, while you sleep and expect to heal. It's something few people talk about, yet more and more scientists are raising concern, because electric blankets and heating pads don't just produce heat, they also produce low-frequency electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, that surround the body when the devices are turned on. These EMFs are a form of non-ionizing radiation, and while they're much weaker than X-rays or microwaves, their constant presence can still interact with your body's internal systems. The concern becomes especially important when the exposure is long, close to the body, and happening during sleep, when your cells are working hardest to repair. For seniors, whose tissues are more vulnerable to inflammation and oxidative stress, this exposure may silently tip the scales toward discomfort and imbalance. You might not notice it right away. You might simply wake up with stiff joints, an aching hip, or a racing heart that fades by morning. These symptoms can feel like aging, but they can also be signs that your body isn't getting the quiet it needs at night. And for Dorothy, a 75-year-old retiree from Minnesota, the signs became too consistent to ignore. Dorothy had always loved her electric blanket. Living in a cold climate, she relied on it to fall asleep and stay warm through long winters. But over time, her sleep began to feel more shallow, and her knees started to ache, even when she hadn't walked much. She also began noticing heart flutters, quick, irregular beats that made her feel uneasy lying still. Her doctor ran tests, but nothing urgent was found. Still, something didn't feel right, and when she read an article about EMFs and aging, Dorothy decided to try something different. She packed away her electric blanket and replaced it with layers of natural warmth, flannel sheets, a wool-lined comforter, and a soft mattress pad. She also added a simple routine before bed. She warmed up a rice-filled cloth bag in the microwave and tucked it under the covers for a few minutes. Then she removed it before sleep, allowing the bed to hold the heat without any electricity. Within 3 weeks, her sleep improved dramatically. The palpitations stopped. Her joints loosened up, and for the first time in months, she woke up feeling clear and strong. Scientists now understand that chronic exposure to EMFs, especially when the entire body is enveloped in the field, like with electric blankets, can raise levels of inflammatory cytokines. These are chemical messengers that tell the immune system when to fight, but when they stay elevated too long, they can create low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This is one of the hidden drivers of age-related problems like joint stiffness, fatigue, and cardiovascular strain. It's not that electric blankets are evil or dangerous in themselves. The problem lies in how they're used and how often. Sleeping 8 hours a night wrapped in EMFs may seem harmless, but for an older body that needs deeper repair, that background stress can interfere. It pulls energy away from healing and adds one more layer of invisible effort to your rest. So, what are the safer alternatives? Natural fibres like wool, flannel or fleece can hold warmth beautifully without needing a plug. If you need a little extra heat, a hot water bottle or microwave warm rice pad gives cozy comfort without the radiation. And if you do use an electric blanket, consider turning it off once the bed feels warm, allowing your body to sleep through the night free of EMF exposure. Sometimes the greatest act of self-care isn't what you add, but what you take away. By creating a sleep space that's warm, gentle, and free of unnecessary interference, you give your body the chance to do what it was made to do: restore. Because restful sleep isn't just a luxury in old age, it's your body's natural medicine, and you deserve every drop of it. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive, not just to illness or injury, but also to the hidden stresses that surround us every day. And for many older adults, some of the most overlooked threats aren't found outside the home, but right beside the bed. Digital alarm clocks, Wi-Fi routers, plug-in air fresheners, charging phones and electric blankets may seem harmless, yet they quietly release waves of energy that your body can feel, especially at night, when healing should happen. These invisible forces can interfere with sleep, heart rhythm, memory, and even joint health. The truth is, seniors are more vulnerable because the body's repair systems slow down with age, cells take longer to recover, sleep becomes lighter, and anything that adds strain, even something as small as a nightstand gadget, can tip the balance toward fatigue, pain, or forgetfulness. But here's the good news. You don't need to fear your bedroom, you just need to rethink it. A single adjustment, like moving your phone farther away or switching off your Wi-Fi at night, can lead to deeper rest. A small change in what you plug in can give your brain and body the quiet it's been asking for, because every night is a chance to heal. And your body, even now, still knows how, if you simply give it the space. You've come this far with strength and resilience. Now let your bedroom support you with the calm, clean energy you truly deserve. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this episode helped you see your bedroom in a whole new way, a place of calm, comfort, and real healing. It's amazing how even the tiniest changes can transform how well we sleep, how clearly we think, and how we feel each morning. The best part is, with just a few thoughtful tweaks, you can turn your bedroom into a true sanctuary that supports your health and restores your energy every single night. Now, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever noticed any of these items in your own bedroom? Is there one small step you're inspired to try tonight? Share your answer in the comments below, or just type the word HOPE if this video offered you a fresh outlook or a little encouragement. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom and click the bell so you'll always know when a new health tip is released just for you. And if you have friends or family members over 60, consider sharing this video. They might appreciate a better night's rest too. Wishing you peaceful nights, bright mornings, and a heart full of calm. Thanks again for being part of the Timeless Wisdom community. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.